What's good, y'all? Random stream, you feel what I'm saying? I don't think y'all can hear what I'm listening to, but definitely watching this in real time. What's up with y'all, man? What's the word? What's the word, man? What's good, Noah King? You watching the halftime show? What's good, Nerfetti? What up? Brian Russell, what's the word, man? I don't know if y'all watching the halftime show right now, but this shit. Oh, damn. What's up? Nerdy Savage, Soul Missing. I don't know what this nigga's saying, but this shit look hard. Hey, this shit hard. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's on right now. What's up? Hip Hop on Top, what up? James Thomas, what up? I'm watching it right now. We'll talk about it afterwards. No, I ain't gonna lie. It is. It is. He doing what he's supposed to do. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But he doing exactly what he's supposed to do. I'm at work currently. Intertone, what up? James, what up? Not a lick of English. Yeah, I don't know what this nigga saying. But they definitely doing what they supposed to do. Yeah, drop a like in the chat if you in here, man. Drop a like for your boy. Shout out to everybody that's on Twitch too. Oh, oh, he brought out Lady Gaga. Oh, that's hard. Oh yeah, Lady Gaga, she killing it too. Yo, shout out to King Joe, Terrell Subtle. Thank you, Intertone. Appreciate that for real. Yeah, I had a great time over there too. Shout out, We Are the Cipher. When is Bad Buddy coming on? He's on right now. I'm watching as we speak. He got Lady Gaga out here. Yeah, this fire. Oh, hold on. Now he dancing with Lady Gaga. Okay. Yeah, it is tough. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about in a second, for sure. Thank you, Rita. I appreciate you. Man, I know Arizona going crazy right now. For real, for real. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, this shit hard. He got hella representation in this shit too, man. You know what I like about this too? You know, we'll talk about that after. We'll talk about that after. Yeah. He said, once I saw a buddy in a farm, G. Yo, yo, hey, King Lewis, do your due diligence, man. Yeah, the body, yeah, they going crazy. Oh, he got his own Grammy performance. That's hard. That's hard. That's fire. I love that. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people don't know. He dropped his like people confused like what bro said. No disrespect to bro, but he's saying I had to turn it off when they was in the cotton fields. We gonna talk about that. He dropped. It's a lot. It's I'm telling you, it's some game in this shit that a lot of people don't know and aren't aware of. I'm watching it on Peacock right now. He said the two dudes grinding with each other took me out. He said, Jalopy, I understand because I'm half Mexican. Right, right, right. They this is a statement, just like Kendrick was a statement. Yeah, this gonna need some picking apart too. He said, not watching this. I'm gonna need you to be surgical with the breakdown. I ain't gonna lie. My breakdown ain't gonna be as surgical as usual because I don't know what this nigga talking about. But but I definitely see some things that I'm picking up on. I mean, the performance is really good in itself. Hella creative. Like they went all in. As they should. Um I think Kendrick Lamar really set a new bar. Oh yeah, not to compare, but I mean, yeah, that's obvious. We got a lot to talk about though. Ah, mm. Whatever this nigga saying. He talking about all the countries. They got all these different flags up. Nah, this real. Yeah, this like that strong community feeling right here. I love this. It's good representation. Yo, I had so many homies calling me talk about, hey man, you better not be watching that halftime show. He gonna be wearing a dress. This nigga, first of all, he did not have a dress on. And secondly, and what the fuck? Yeah, that was hard. That was hard. That was hard. Okay, yeah, that was it. Okay. So, um, first of all, shout out to the people. You feel what I'm saying? It's over with. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to everybody that pulled up to the to the cipher last night. I definitely was in there talking about the what's it called? I definitely was in there to in the goddamn mic. Then I did not realize that my camera microphone was on. So you feel what I'm saying? Like I didn't realize my camera mic was on, so I was muting myself and then thinking that nobody heard me. But no, everybody could hear me still. So nah. But long story short, somebody said they had to turn it off when they seen that they was in the fields and shit. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like what a lot of people don't know is that it was Mexicans picking cotton too in the 1910s, the 1940s, the 1950s. Not saying they had the same experience as slavery, but that is documented. So when I seen it, I wasn't thinking like, oh, what the fuck? I was thinking like this is document, this is like world representation of what's it called? What was going on. So I love that. I love that a lot of people probably don't know that. And seeing that probably has them understanding that. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Latinos were in the field too. Exactly. So I thought that I was dope coming out the gate because you say that to a lot of people, they probably wouldn't even know and they probably wouldn't even understand. And I think we in a time and space, and I might piss some people off by saying this, but it's all good. We in a time and space where I think that identity is because people are kind of searching for that space to be in, right? And some of it I believe is manufactured, some of it is not. But I do think that creates a certain level of without the proper knowledge, a certain level of division, right? Which is like, some division is good. That's how I feel. I feel like some division is good. But if you do your due diligence and you do your history, you know that there are a lot more similarities and collective experience amongst Black people and Latinos. And there are Black Latinos. That's what people don't understand either. A lot of people think, even when we talk about even when we talk about the ICE situation, in my song F ICE, I'm a person where I didn't mind nobody who didn't like the message, or I didn't mind nobody who felt like, whatever, because that's the type of person I am. I'm open to all perspectives. So, and I understand like why people will come to the perspective that they have, but it's to acknowledge that whatever's happening, it's not just happening to Latinos in this country. It's not just happening to Mexican people in this country. And that's what you got to understand. The more that you talk like it is, that's when you wake up and them niggas is at your door. That's when you wake up and them niggas knocking at your door talking about, technically you're not a human in the Constitution, so you got to go. You feel what I'm saying? It's a lot of interesting things that that go into this conversation. And I think that after what right, we are claiming what's ours, it's our land, we've done the work, it's on the right. I understand that, right? And that's where nuance comes in. Because even as somebody who believes that black people, there's some people who come from Africa and some people that were already here. I think that, it's important that we recognize, and Justin Hunt was saying this earlier, our role in building this country, and the fact that when we built this country and we made it possible for people to come here and make something out of this country, they do try to leave that out of the conversation, so we are not given what we're justified to be given. But that's the nuance. That can be true while also acknowledging that there's multiple parts of territory that was stolen in America, and a lot of different types of people were upon those territories. So I love what Bad Bunny did. I love the representation of Black Latinos. Because it's the same thing with the ICE conversation. A lot of people think the only, and I don't mean to disrespect nobody if you feel this way, but a lot of people feel like because the propaganda is telling you what's only happening to Mexican people, that it has nothing to do with nobody else. Well, that's the same exact, propaganda when it comes to people thinking that Black Latinos don't exist. You feel what I'm saying? Like there's levels to these conversations that you got to be open to in order to really get to the bottom of. And I think regardless whether I was able to hear what he was saying or not, or understand what he was saying or not, because I didn't understand goddamn thing he was saying. But the overall message and the representation and the imagery of what he was putting out there, I know was along the lines of, things that need to be dissected, history, breaking down the constructs. And I didn't even need to hear what he had to say in order to understand what he was saying. So that's the power of art, and that's the power of culture, the power of culture represented through the arts. Is we don't even got to see. We don't even got to see, or we don't even got to hear or understand exactly what everybody was talking about. You know what I mean? So he was wilding. Oh, okay. For anybody that understood what he was talking about, let me know, because I don't know what he was talking about, but I know it was something. You know what I mean? I know whatever energy, I know the energy he had up there was like, was real necessary. He said, I can't wait to watch the butthurt videos. Oh, yeah, they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be everywhere. I had homies calling me, I already said this, but I had homies calling me talking about, man, you better not watch the Super Bowl, man. He going to be wearing a dress. I'm like, this type of stuff I'm talking about. Like, even if he was wearing a dress, what does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the message? What is he representing? What is he putting out there? But we focus a lot on the constructs of things, which is why we never have valuable conversations about anything. Because everything is about the construct. What do you identify as? If you identify as something else, I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. And that's why we never get to the bottom of anything. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people that had issues with Bad Bunny even being a performer. And it just goes to show you, like, I would like to call it propaganda. I would like to call it things that keep people from focus on the real enemy. And yeah, that's my perspective. But yeah, I love that show. Shout out to my boy Diego. He said, Jalopy, we love you. You grew 10 more toes and stood 20 toes down. Said, yeah, you already know what time it is, man. You know what time it is. But yeah, I you know what I'm saying? As somebody, grew up in Arizona, you feel what I'm saying? I have my experience in both cultures. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like it's a different type of love and understanding of what's going on when I'm watching that type of shit. So that's really what it is for me. I'm gonna watch the rest of the Super Bowl too, but we let's talk about what's it called? I kind of want to dive into some of Kendrick's performance too at the Super Bowl. And really like the connection between that Super Bowl performance and this Super Bowl performance. I do think that, some people say it's propaganda for a political party and all that different stuff. I think two things, whatever you believe in is what you believe in. I think regardless what we're watching is we're watching representation on a different level on the biggest platform possible, or one of the biggest platforms possible. And I think that's crucial in the confidence And not only the confidence in what and how we walk around in America, but the understanding of how connected all of our cultures are, right? Because I say it all the time. For anybody to be on my lives, I say it all the time, right? It's that you start, in my opinion, it starts with love for your tribe, right? And then it should spread outwardly. So I'm not the type of person that's mad at anybody for representing their tribe, mad at anybody for representing what they believe in, right? The issue is when you try to take, you know, what people look like, what people say, and all that different shit, and then try to justify hatred in that aspect. That's where I think it becomes an issue. I believe that when you love your people and then move and then build beyond that, right? That's where we start to see true unity and true really perspective and conversation too. Because if we're not having conversations with other people and other cultures, it's like we can never really have an understanding. We can never really have an understanding of just the power of what that unity could potentially look like. That's just personally me though. That's why I love what Kendrick was able to do with his performance, because with his performance, which is why I'd be confused when people were talking about what people were saying shit like Kendrick went on the Grammys and he didn't mention ICE and all the different shit. Now, I'm not the person that thinks celebrities got to speak on everything at every opportunity, especially when that same celebrity on the biggest scale possible, right, ended up giving you a visualization of revolution, in my perspective, right, in the form of art. He really got up there and really displayed the game, the system, right, of what it is to be in America, especially to be Black in America. And that's what I believe, you know, Samuel Jackson represented as, you know, Uncle Sam, saying, yeah, you got all this different money, you provided all this different stuff and all this, but you still got to play the game. And wait, what we got in here? Y'all said we got, what's going on? What y'all talking about in here? What y'all worried about? L Bunny was bad. I mean, hey, if niggas didn't like the performance, I'm not gonna boot them for saying they didn't like the performance. But that's really my whole thing, is that can you ban Logan? What Logan say? Where he at? Logan, this is America. That's what he said. Stolen what? Hold on. What else he say? Let me see. Hold on. Trash halftime show. Stolen what? Yeah, okay, nah, yeah, that's where you start being. Disliking the halftime show is one thing, brother. That type of rhetoric is, yeah, you dislike the halftime show because of what you believe, not what you saw. So yeah, you're out of here. But I think right now, Skylar saying worst halftime show in history, that's different. If you hated the halftime show, I'm not mad at that. But if you hated the halftime show because there was a lot of like Mexican representation, Latino representation in general, that's different. You feel what I'm saying? That's not opinionated. That's not you being opinionated about the art form. But really, yeah, you definitely missed it, and that's unfortunate. But it's gonna be out there. You'll be able to watch it later. But yeah, Bad Bunny did his thing. Back to Kendrick. So with Kendrick, I recognize that the same way that I feel like Kendrick raps in Negro Spiritual, that is how I felt about his Super Bowl performance. It was coded in a way where if you understood it, you understood it. And I don't mean to sound like, you know what I mean, J. Cole fans when you talk about the fall off, but I mean quite literally, Kendrick's performance was something you just had to understand. You had to really get to and a lot of the times you're able to understand that through experience. That's why worldwide, right, all over Black representation all over the world, whether it was America, Africa, whatever it was, you've seen these videos of people watching this and understanding what was being said, especially black people who live in America, understanding what he was getting at. And that's the power of culture, and that's the power of something that we've done since slavery. When we were in the fields, we communicated through Negro spirituals in ways that the slave masters weren't able to understand and weren't able to pick up on. And I think the same things happen in hip hop. I think the same things happen in that performance. And whether people understand that or not, when you look at the conversations that would have, when you look at the think pieces that were created based on that performance, you start to realize, like, yeah, no, this is the power of these art forms and what they can really do, right? So I feel the same way about Bad Bunny's performance, understanding that I don't really understand it fully, the same way that a lot of people who watch Kendrick Lamar's performance didn't understand it fully. However, I embrace and I love to see other cultures doing what they do what they do. So therefore, I don't dislike it because of my lack of understanding. And that's where, you know, you see the disdain for Kendrick's performance, and you're going to see the disdain from Bad Bunny's performance. It's the lack of understanding, fearing what you can't comprehend. You feel what I'm saying? So I've seen somebody say, and I want to speak on this too. Let's see. Wait, somebody said, one second. Hold on. I gotta find that comment. Hold on. I'm more here to say something. 1 second. Well, I can't find it. But some people had an issue with, you know, I heard that Bad Bunny is like bisexual or something like that. So a lot of people had an issue with that. They were saying, like, yeah, we don't want this to show. But and I want to talk about one of my homies. And, you know, it goes to show, like, you know, you have homies you can disagree with. You have homies who have certain perspectives that you might not align with, but that's still your homie. And my homie was telling me, he's like, man, he's like, I just don't want Bad Bunny to go up stage. He thought he was going to be wearing a dress. I don't know where they saw that at. But I don't want Bad Bunny going on stage and influencing the kids to, you know, be bisexual or whatever the hell they was talking about. And the funny thing about this nigga, and this is what I mean about the conversation we have in general. It's like, nigga, you love the artists that you listen to that's singing and rapping about killing and all this different stuff. And once again, I'm not one of the people that's like, we gotta stop, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Because I understand the nuance of the discussion. Sometimes it's your environment and you just perpetuate your environment. But I'm like, bro, it's a lot of things that are out there, right, that we listen to and we are okay with being promoted. And it's like, why don't you want kids to see that? You feel what I'm saying? Why don't you want kids to hear that type of music or that type of stuff? Where's the line drawn? You know what I mean? Even with the hypersexual songs that we get from our male hip hop artists, our male whatever artists, and really all genres. It's like a lot of the times you're not hearing people say we don't want that to be put out there either. So it's like, if it's really about the kids and the influence on the kids, it's like, how far are we going with that? How serious are we taking that? You know what I mean? Or is that just an excuse to justify your disdain for certain groups of people? You know what I mean? So that's my whole thing. Like, I wouldn't have cared if he got up there in a dress. I wouldn't have cared, because at the end of the day, it's representation for a certain group of people that do exist in our societies. And I just don't see an issue with that representation, you know, and I'm okay with anybody that disagree with that. But that's just where I stand. I just don't see an issue with that type of representation. So I'm not mad at anybody that does. If you have a perspective where you grow up in a household and, you know, your family is homophobic, that's understandable. Of course, you would develop those same understandings and ideologies as you get older. That's human nature. So I'm not a person that's going to judge you for that. right? But your explanation for it is the part that I have a problem with, because the explanation most of the time is not, it don't make no sense. Most of the time, the explanation never makes sense. So that's my whole thing too, and that's why I love when art breaks the boundaries. It challenges the boundaries. I think what art is supposed to. That's what art is supposed to do. I feel like if your art doesn't challenge the boundaries, and I don't think all art has to challenge the boundaries either. So don't get that wrong. But I do think the best art usually challenges boundaries. So from that perspective, I'm always gonna love when art challenges the boundaries, whether I agree with what's being challenged or not. You know what I'm saying? I think I love the audacity, right? And that's my whole thing. It's a lot. It's some Kendrick songs that Kendrick got where he talked from a personal perspective that I personally don't agree with, but I love the fact that he took the opportunity to challenge perspective. I think that's necessary, and that's exactly what Bad Bunny did tonight. He challenged the perspective. Now, there's obviously levels to how people push certain things, right? There's levels to everything, and that's why the perspective is important. Because there are some things that are pushed in order to destroy communities intentionally. That does not mean that the people who exist as those identities are doing the same thing, and that's why nuance is important, right? Because if you take something that if you take an identity, right, that the elites want to use to destroy people and destroy societies, and combine that with the people who live those realities, right, you're not doing it right. That's how I feel. You're not doing it right, because now you're judging the people who live in these realities and not the people who are using these things in order to destroy. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my whole point about Bad Bunny's performance and the things that the people are going to end up saying. Right? We can't throw away nuance. It's the same thing. Like, people will say, like, how can Kendrick Lamar be rapping about consciousness and raising the level of society and raising the next generation, but also be talking gangster shit and game banging? And it's like, nigga, because there's nuance to reality. He grew up in an environment that forces you most of the time to either experience it through affiliation or get involved directly. So that's the reality he was brought up in. Once you remove yourself in that reality physically or mentally, it's now your choice. Simple. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I love the fact that we got Kendrick Lamar and Bad Bunny back to back. I love the fact that they both used the opportunity in order to give a message and speak a message. And that's what I love about, our art and what we can do. And let's look at these super chats real quick, and then we're going to move forward. Shout out to It's Nader. I like the halftime show. Have a good evening. Me too. I think it was dope. Even though I didn't know what the hell he was saying, I thought it was dope. So yeah, shout out to my boy It's Nader. Shout out to Diapia for the super chat. I appreciate you. Super performance on Now Theater, and I love it. I'm sure Dot influenced BB in that regard. Dope show. Yeah. And you know what? I remember conversations, and this is why, man, the conversations around Kendrick Lamar are so disingenuous, man. Like, it's ridiculous. And I wonder sometimes, is it because people just see him as competition to the people that they love, or is it just a lack of understanding, or like, what is it really? Because a lot of people were saying, during the battle and a little after the battle, and even when G and X came out, right, that what's up with that? But that he lacks influence. Who did Kendrick Lamar influence? What did Kendrick Lamar do? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What is your idea of influence? So hold on. We have to In order for influence to be a thing, niggas have to rap like that person. That's the only level of influence that's real. I think that's weird. What about being? Look, let's leave that conversation for another time. We're not gonna have that conversation tonight. Nobody's gonna be proven right. Nobody's gonna be proven wrong. Y'all not gonna get nowhere. So let's talk about what I'm talking about, right? So the way I'm looking at it is, how is Kendrick Lamar not influenced or influential? Because everybody didn't get dreads and start rapping in auto-tune like Lil Wayne, or because niggas started making soulless pop records like Drake. That's why. That don't really make no sense to me. What about the people who started taking the craft more seriously or started breaking barriers in the genre with sound after To Pimp a Butterfly? What about that? What about Mr. Morale and how that influenced a lot of artists to actually dig in and dig through, right? And reflect, right? And I think that starts a little earlier, like maybe 444 or something, but Mr. Morale influenced a lot of people too. What about the Super Bowl performance, like Diego was saying, where clearly you see, if y'all didn't get to see, Bad Bunny's performance was 1000% heavily influenced by Kendrick Lamar's performance. And if you're able to not look at it from a basic perspective, you can see that. Right? You can see that just the fact that there was the field, the fact that there was a focus on the message and a focus on representation, the fact that, he's going from one side at one point of the stage to another point of the stage. He has checkpoints. The fact that he's going in and out of dialogue. This is Kendrick influence. This is Kendrick influence. Kendrick's influenced that. And going forward, anybody who goes to the Super Bowl and doesn't put that time and effort into their Super Bowl performance is going to be looked at like that wasn't that good. Because Kendrick set the bar. The same way Kendrick set the bar in hip-hop. The same way Kendrick's going to eventually set the bar in music, period. Right? As he continues to grow at the level, his next drop will probably influence pop music. Right? And not to say he hasn't already done that, but I can see Kendrick Lamar with his next project changing the way people view pop. Changing the way people, like you see what I'm saying? Like, this is what Kendrick is doing right now. And you got to be able to understand that. And right, Malaya, and Black culture is the center of that. Right? Black culture is the center of that. So it's just to understand that I really never understood the argument about Kendrick Lamar's influence. I never understood that, but now I kind of can, because people aren't looking at influence the same way some of us look at influence. Right? Kendrick said you can't fake influence. Like, you can't fake this stuff. Like, you can put the bots on your songs and put all the different stuff and have your songs playing in all the cafes and all the Targets and all the Walmarts and all the different shit. And people think you're influential because of that. But Not Like Us was the song that Gen Z was revolting to in Nepal. That's influence. Songs like Not Like Us are influencing, right, revolution around the world. That's influence. Because when you think about it, that song is a, whatever you want to call it, culture versus commerce. If you want to call it culture versus corporation, if you want to call it whatever you want to call it, that song represents a lot of that. And when you hear that song, it could even be colonizer versus the oppressed, right? Especially when Kendrick gets to that third verse. Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie, still. Then it gives you that whole history lesson of what happened in the past in our country and how our influence was being used in order to build empires. And that don't happen just in America. That happens worldwide. So when these other people hear these songs, they start to realize, wait, this is exactly what happened to us. And they might not even be able to see it that way. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like I really never understood the argument around Kendrick Lamar's the argument around Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance and his level of influence. It's just ridiculous to me and doesn't make any sense. Shout out Diapia. I appreciate you for the super chat. Actually, let me ask y'all what y'all thought about whoever ended up watching it here, what y'all thought about that live performance. 1 second. I'm put a poll up. All right. For the people that watched it, let me know what y'all thought. Now, another thing. Turn on monetize. Okay, hold on. Let me take care of this real quick. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now, and right, Kendrick gave us lessons on Black history, and then you get the same thing from Bad Bunny, right? Shout out Regal in the building. What up? Then you get the same thing for Bad Bunny. And you know what? My fault, y'all. I'm gonna post this on Twitter too. I'm gonna post this link on Twitter. And we also talking about the Baby Keem theory tonight. We also talking about the Baby Keem theory tonight, which I think does coincide with the All Eyes on Me theory. I don't think they have to be separate, but I do have a little more perspective on the All Eyes on Me theory in general. Yeah, obviously I prefer Kendrick Lamar's performance for sure. But I think that Bad Bunny's was good. And I'm sure that, it's for two different cultures that do intersect. So he said I hit no by accident. I didn't even see it. You good, don't even worry about it. But yeah, I do think what's the Baby Keem theory? We're gonna get to that in a second. But yeah, I do genuinely believe that Kendrick Lamar has raised the bar on art in general and has forced, and I don't want to say forced, but has pushed artistry to go into a level where, it's either focused based on messaging or in just the level of, stuff like that. When will you start inviting subscribers to speak? I ain't gonna lie. Tonight. Fuck it. Let's do it. I'm gonna have my usuals be able to take that offer first. So all my usuals that are usually in here, meaning you in the chat, you know what I mean? You constantly saying stuff. Super chat. What else? Commenting on the videos, showing up for the video, all that different stuff. I know some of y'all just by looking at some of y'all. But yeah, I definitely will have some. I'm definitely have some of y'all come up on here tonight. Diego, of course, Intertone, of course, Regal Love, of course, off the top of my head. I'm about to post this link on Twitter. All right. So, yeah, if y'all in here, drop that like. You know what I'm saying? Drop that like for your boy. Yeah, would y'all, yes, Jimmy Clam, of course. Would y'all like Tyler at the Super Bowl performance, I think I would like to see that. I think it could be good. I think it definitely could be good. Do we think he's going to break Kendrick's record? I will say I didn't see as much hype for this one as the last one, but I do think online and on the videos, I do think I don't think that would be crazy. I think that Bad Bunny is a lot more Bad Bunny is like a pop, and I want to say pop as in, Taylor Swift pop or whatever. And I'm not even mad at Taylor Swift, but Bad Bunny is more pop as in his music is like more susceptible to anybody. I think even in its essence of being Spanish music, y'all would be surprised, especially living in Arizona, bruh. Y'all would be surprised how much Bad Bunny get played in rooms of people who don't speak Spanish. It's just the energy, you know what I mean? The energy, the dancing. It gets people dancing. It gets people moving. You feel what I'm saying? So that's really that's really my take on that. But I do think Bad Bunny online does break the record. It's Bad Bunny. You feel what I'm saying? So I think he does break the record. But I mean, at his level, I don't know who I would rather break the record on that level of pop or whatever. You know what I mean? I'd rather it be like a Bad Bunny than I don't know. I don't hate Lady Gaga, but like I hate a Lady Gaga. You know what I'm saying? Or something of that nature. Shout out to Lady Gaga. She performed tonight. And you know what? How did y'all feel about Lady Gaga's part? Okay, so we got 75-25%. The people, it's safe to say the people love Bad Bunny's performance. How did y'all love Lady Gaga's part? No, actually, will Bad Bunny break Kendrick's record? But I wonder, and I'm not to be nitpicky, but I do wonder if it could have been someone else, and that's not to be nitpicky and try to like point out anything and try to find something wrong with it. But I do wonder, like, could there have been somebody else? You know what I mean? Could there have been somebody else? Like, who would y'all have preferred? You know what I mean? Like, I respect Lady Gaga's ability and artistry and all that, but I'm like, could there have been someone else? I don't know. I'm just curious. Last year, you got Kendrick and SZA too, so that was dope. Bad Bunny is #1 in Japan. That's crazy. Kendrick's huge in Japan too, and this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, unless I don't know something, Lady Gaga being in it did feel random, unless I'm unaware of something. Cardi B would have been dope. Cardi B would have been cool, like just the aesthetic of it. I'm not big on Cardi B really at all, but I definitely could see, I could see that. I could see something of that nature. Hip hop will come around soon. Yeah, I think it was good not to go back to back. I think it was good not to go back to back hip hop. Give it a break, you know what I mean, and then spin back. Maybe if Jay-Z even does his own performance. Now, I don't see Jay-Z putting the level of time and effort into the performance as a Bad Bunny or Kendrick Lamar. I can see him just going up there and rapping. So I don't know. I would love to see Doechii. I know it's early in her career, but if there's anybody I would love to see a performance on the Super Bowl that would live up to the hype and go fucking crazy, it's Doechii. It's Doechii for sure. Doechii, Ty the Creator, the theater kids, the artsy kids. But I think if anybody can live up to what Kendrick or Bad Bunny did, it's Doechii. Doechii is just a masterful performer. What about Kanye? I don't think Kanye will ever be able to do the Super Bowl. I don't think he'll ever be able to do the Super Bowl. You feel what I'm saying? Oh yeah, let me keep moving with these super chats. Shout out to Karen Sullen. I appreciate you. He said Bad Bunny performance was the best part of this boring Super Bowl. I thought it was on great halftime. Yeah, this Super Bowl is definitely ass. I love a good defensive game. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at it, but it's just you know what I mean? So I thought that has been the best part of the Super Bowl, the same way that Kendrick's performance was easily the best part of the Super Bowl. The amount of viewers surged when Kendrick got on stage versus declined, and all that different stuff. So yeah, I think I'm on the same page. I think that Bad Bunny's part was definitely the best part. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you for super chat. Shout out to Jelly Dots for the super chat. Bad Bunny put on love, displaying his culture and heritage, both the new and old, going from an old school wedding to a modern love scenery. Loved it. See, these are the things that I'm kind of missing. You know what I mean? I seen the them getting married up there and all different stuff, but there's some stuff, of course, I wasn't catching on to, and that's the dope part about it. You know what I mean? Like, because of it, I'm not like, because I'm missing it doesn't mean that it's not good. And I think a lot of people do that. But yeah, it's dope. I'm sure there's gonna be a whole lot of videos breaking down this stuff. So I'm excited to watch those. But I appreciate you. Thank you. Shout out to Trevon Michael for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. I feel like there was a clear and bountiful message in his performance, even with all the scenery of two was telling. Facts, despite not understanding Spanish, but it was a great performance overall. Right. And like, that's just the power of the art, bro. Like, I didn't even have to understand what he was saying. I didn't even have to understand what he was saying to feel what he was saying. In his delivery, in his performance, and in the imagery, everything. I love the fact that there was so much different representation. I love the fact that there was black and brown people all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I love, like, there was, I just love that in general. I love it. I love that there's going to be an insane amount of hatred for this performance. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out Cam Sullen. And you know what? Before I move on to the Baby Keem theory, I'll have people come up and say what they got to say about the performance, whether it's a connection to this performance or Kendrick's performance. Shout out to Cam Sullen again. It's crazy how the older people of my family reacted to the halftime performance. Let's just say it was very disappointment of what they were saying. Right. And this is why I'm like, I never hold that against them. Right? Because it happens in general too. There's obviously a divide in a lot of different reasons for a lot of different spaces, and the constructs are getting stronger these days. So I'll hear my family members say crazy stuff sometimes, in my personal opinion, but I don't love them any less. I understand they grew up in a different society and a different reality than I grew up in. As far as the transition of generations, the transitions of perspective. I was raised to have my own mind and to think from my own perspective. And so therefore, even the times when I challenged my family and they didn't like that and they had pushback, I still felt like this is what I get to do. And so that distance, even my mom used to say, think for yourself, even when it comes to me. You know what I mean? So creating that distance between us to understand, like, I have my perspective, and just because yours is different doesn't mean I love you any less. The same with even friends. I have a bunch of different types of friends. You know what I mean? My friend group is very diverse, extremely diverse. The groups of people I hang out with are very diverse. And so I'm able to see so many different perspectives and levels of understanding. So it's dope to be able to watch something and experience it and love it and see people you love see it differently and be okay with that. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to What's What TV. Thank you for the super chat. He said it was not influenced by Dot. Bad Bunny had a world tour and purposely dodged the U.S. because of ICE presence. The fact that he did and had Latino countries in the shoe came field united fire. I respect what you said. I disagree. I think that I highly doubt that Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl looks the same if Kendrick doesn't do what he did. And I'm perfectly fine with being wrong about that. But that's my perspective. Bad Bunny definitely, not saying that Bad Bunny watched him and copied it. Right? There's a difference. There's a difference between being influential, or a difference between being influenced by something and copying something, right? I don't think he copied him. I think that he was influenced by what he was doing, and therefore, you know what I'm saying? That's how I looked at it. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like before Kendrick, the Super Bowl performances didn't really have that theater aspect. You know what I mean? And that's my whole performance. I think that you don't have to say you don't have to say like, oh, because this is influence, that's a negative connotation, that's a bad thing. Like, no, I think that you might be looking into a little too deep into it from that perspective. I think the same way Kendrick is influenced by Tupac, influenced by Nas, influenced by Boom Boom Boom, and therefore it gives us reincarnated and gives us the storytelling and all that. I wouldn't call Kendrick a copycat. I would say he was influenced by other greats, right? Even and all that different stuff. So that's really my whole thing. You know what I mean? Right. I'm talking theater-wise. Yes. Yeah. So I'm not saying that Bad Bunny looked at Kendrick shit and was like, I'm gonna do it like that. No, but Kendrick turned his shit into like a theatrical performance, right? Where he's going from scene to scene and having monologues and like having, you know what I mean? Like just shit like that. Like I think Bad Bunny took that part and added to his game by having the monologues, having the the setup and all that different stuff. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So that's how I looked at it. Yeah, Bad Bunny was definitely original. It was extremely original. Nobody's ever done that in that way. Bad Bunny transcended the performances at the Super Bowls. I think he transcended it to another level the same way Kendrick did. But I do think the way they was set up in the theatrical way was very similar. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Shout out to you for the super chat, though. The nice and healthy, what up? I appreciate you for the super chat. Mom just called me talking about her TV in Spanish. Yo, nah. Oh, no, I'm crying. Shout out to your mom. Jimmy Clam, of course you're usual, my guy. You feel what I'm saying? Of course. Thank you for the super chat, man. Ouija, I think that's how you say it. Hot take: anyone with less than 20 projects listened to in a year, any genre, need to silence in that genre's public discourse. Anyone with less than 20 projects listened to in a year in any genre needs to silent in that genre's discourse. Are you saying like if for example, if you've listened to less than 20 projects in a year because for hip hop, then you shouldn't speak on it, right? You should be more wary of what you're saying. I'm fine with that. I mean, I feel like some people, like for example, like I know older people who don't listen to hip hop no more because they still think it's bullshit going on, right? So, hold on, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I gotta blow my nose. All right, so I see what you're saying, right? I see what you're saying, but my whole thing is like, I know people who are older, who are diehard hip hop fans and was listening to all the stuff in the golden eras and all the different stuff, and they stopped listening because it turned into bullshit for the most part. So I wouldn't say they shouldn't be able to say something just because they didn't listen to 20 projects in a year. So that's where I disagree with you, but I understand where you're coming from, though. You know what I mean? I understand why you would say that, because there are a lot of people who might speak on Bad Bunny's music, right? Or speak on whatever and not really, you know, understand what's going on. So I definitely understand that. But 20 projects is a lot. 20 projects is a lot. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that. But I do appreciate you, dog. Much love for the super chat. Jimmy Clam again. Please forgive me, but I had to say the truth. I didn't really like it. It wasn't bad, but I was a little let down at the Kid That's Great show. Hey, let's make something clear. This isn't the channel where, and I feel like everybody knows this, but if you don't, let's make this clear. This is the channel where you're allowed to have a different perspective, right? Now, obviously, just like we learned earlier, some people, you know, they come in here and they say stuff like, that was the worst halftime show ever. And then 2 minutes later, they say, what do you mean stolen land? Okay, I see the connection there. You hate the halftime show because you don't like black people and Mexican people going up and performing at your Super Bowl. That's different. You just not liking the performance is nothing to apologize about. That's your perspective on the art, and that's perfectly fine. But if you were saying some shit like, well, I don't like the performance, and next thing you say is, I hate Mexicans, then I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, okay, this isn't about the performance. This is about your hatred for a group of people. You know what I mean? So no, we don't do none of that group thing shit in here. If you don't like certain things because of just the art itself, that's fine. Okay? We are, it's actually better to say you don't like something, even if the majority of us in here like it, because that'll create more conversation. You know what I mean? So, nah, you don't got to apologize for that, bro. I appreciate you, though, for real talk. Shout out to Lotus Hotel for the super chat. He said, our country has mind-effed us and the world on the basis of just of such things as language and race barriers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. I studied Spanish for years and have so much respect for where they come from. Us on the bottom rung have to deal with the fallout. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing to talk about there. I think that for sure, and it shows up in ways that a lot of us wouldn't even expect. Just the constructs that are manufactured at times, right? And they could be manufactured from real movements that actually exist, but are then co-opted in order to separate and create distrust and division within communities. So that's absolutely fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that. And that's really, yeah, that's the reality of our country. I mean, a lot of the times that's the way that they keep us from challenging them. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Thank you for the big super chat, the 50 piece. That's love, bro. Shout out to Leonardo Thomas for the super chat too. Appreciate you. Anybody know if it will be on YouTube tomorrow or so? I was at work, so I couldn't watch Super Bowl. I'm sure it would be. I'm sure it should be. I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it should be for sure. I appreciate you for that. And female. Oh, my bad. My bad. That's on me. I've been thinking you was a guy this whole time because of the Jimmy. I was thinking maybe that's your name. It could be your name too. But yeah, I appreciate you for clarifying. I'll make sure to stay on top of that from here on out. Much love. Thank you. Now that's the super chats. Now, anybody that want to come up and give their perspective on the Super Bowl halftime show, I'm gonna put the link so you can come up here and give your perspective. I know Intertone wanted to come up, so I will be prioritizing Intertone. I will be prioritizing Diego too. I think I'm gonna go for maybe 4 max. We'll probably do 4 max tonight for this subject. All right. So y'all feel free to join. Fire how you bring up folks. Yeah, man. I mean, I seen what's it called? I was watching the We Are the Cypher stream, and he brought somebody up to give their perspective. I can't remember what he was talking about, but he brought somebody up to bring up their perspective, and I was like, I didn't even know that you could do that, but you can. All people got to do is click the link. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I feel like it'd be dope to just have people. He said it's a perfect subject, but I ain't ready, gang. I'm perfectly fine with that. If nobody come up here and you know what I'm saying, then that's fine. We'll just move on to the next subject. Nah, I think Bad Bunny just wanted to convey Latin America culture and represent Latin America, but also unifying America as a whole. Yeah, I think that's why the flags and everything that came out that represented all different forms of culture, like that's why they did that. You know what I mean? So, oh yeah, the Seahawks, yeah, they got these niggas out of here. It's over. Yeah, it's over with. It's over with for sure. Yep, it's over with. We are deciphering it here right now. What's good, bro? Hey, I appreciate you for having me last night too, man. Real talk. I don't know. What's it called? I don't know. What's I about to say? I know I'm not the only person that happens to. But shout out to my boy We Are the Cypher. We just did the show, The Cypher, last night, and that shit was hard. I loved the conversation. I think everything was perfect. Everything about it was perfect. I definitely was in the mic and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So nah, I loved it. I'm definitely always down to come on. I'll be on every episode if I'm good for them days. I'll be on all the time, and all that. Time out, Beam. Hold on, bro. Hey, this the nigga I was talking about earlier. Beam, I gotta put you on blast because I know you don't give a fuck, and that's why I'm gonna put you on blast because I know you don't give a fuck. This nigga Beam, right? And this nigga Beam, and y'all check out bro music too. But this nigga Beam over here calling me, talking about, nigga, you better not watch that damn halftime show because that nigga might be up there in a goddamn dress. And this nigga be listening to fucking Playboy Cardi and all these niggas that be talking about crazy shit. I'm like, nigga, why you don't care about the message coming to the kids for them? Like, why? And I know he don't give a fuck. That's why I'm bringing it up. This nigga don't care how nobody see it. But I'm just like I'm confused by that rhetoric. You feel what I'm saying? I really don't get that type of rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said, I do not listen to Cardi. Nigga, you're lying. Cut it out, bro. You are lying, bro. You are lying, bro. You do listen to Cardi, nigga. But nah. My nigga Beam is hilarious though, bro. I got like I said, I got a whole bunch of homies. We don't all agree on the same shit, but like, you know what I'm saying? I still fuck with the homies regardless. And they still fuck with me, you feel me? So he said, I rebuke Cardi in the name of Jesus. Nah, but Cardi's ass. Cardi not ass. I ain't gonna lie. Cardi not trash. I think well, I came up listening to SoundCloud Cardi. You know what I mean? I came up listening to Cardi on SoundCloud. I wasn't introduced to Cardi by what's that song? What's the big ass song he got popping on? The first single they put out on the label. What was the song? Do y'all remember? Magnolia. Yes. Bro, that song was cool. But Broke Boy, hey, tapped in. So you do listen to Cardi. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I do. there's certain artists from that SoundCloud era that if you had an impression on me and I loved your music at that time, I always give your new projects a chance because I feel like there's a chance you might go back to that. That's my relationship with Cardi. I haven't liked Cardi projects in I don't know how long. It's been years, but I always go back and say, okay, this might be the time where we get that underground Cardi back, but it never happens. There were some songs I liked on his project that I really, I liked all the songs with Kendrick besides Mojo Jojo. I wasn't a big fan of Mojo Jojo, but Backdoor, fire. Backdoor should have been bigger than it really was, but I think that they, if it was a surprise feature like it should have been, then I think that it would have took off the way it should have took off. And it did its numbers, I think it was like top 30. It was like it went top 30. But yeah, that's my whole thing. So to the diehard Kendrick fans, please break down to me why Kendrick wanted to be on a Playboi Carti song. Well, Kendrick and Playboi Carti got ties. So Kendrick and Playboi Carti got ties. So that wasn't surprising to me. As a matter of fact, it was a lot of us that was like, when is that going to happen? You know what I mean? So it wasn't random. It was like, a lot of people who are fans of both was wondering when that was going to happen. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's ties. He was like, yo, this the homie. Here's some features. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming off the biggest situation. I'm coming off the Super Bowl here. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it was. But yeah, for me, I haven't enjoyed a full-length project for Playboi Carti in a while. Now, there are a good amount of songs on I Am Music that I like. I like certain shit on there. And I think a lot of y'all don't really understand fully my music taste either, but that's because I haven't displayed it. But it's a lot more diverse as far as hip-hop and subgenres in hip-hop than you would think. So, I always will check out a Carti album. I always will check out a, no, I gave up on Lil Yachty a long time ago. I gave up on Lil Yachty before the SoundCloud era even ended. Lil Yachty's ass. But XXX, I definitely was big on XXX. It's in the SoundCloud eras when he was on that like hype energy shit. Who else? Mick Jenkins. I'm always gonna check out a Mick Jenkins project because I remember exactly where I was when I heard The Waters. I remember exactly what I was doing when I first heard The Waters. I was, bruh, I ain't gonna lie. Yachty's fried. Yachty's fried, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Mick Jenkins. Who else? Right, Lil Yachty back then. And I have a theory on what happened really, because what really happened was, in my opinion, right before that whole I don't know if y'all remember, but if you was like a real underground head, which is something I've been for a long time, oh yeah, I'm listening to the underground. I'm not listening to mainstream a whole lot. There was there was some artists I listened to on the mainstream just because I liked them that much, or I was listening to them before they blew up. But for the most part, that era of 2011 to 2015, I ain't gonna lie, bro. There was a spiritual renaissance going on in hip hop at that time. And even not just hip hop, bro. I remember even with Willow Smith. Willow Smith was coming out with some very powerful spiritual music. What was that song called on SoundCloud? It was a SoundCloud hit. I think it was Female Energy. Y'all remember that? How'd it go? It was I'm just standing in another atmosphere. Y'all remember that one? Her shit, Willow Smith was on some different timing back then. And then all of a sudden, you get the 2016 freestyle. I mean, the 2016 Cypher, right, on XXL, and it just seemed like that whole era just got pushed away. Did y'all notice that? And then those artists ended up becoming the guys. It's almost like it was intentional. But what do I know? What do I know? You know what I mean? Who knows? But and actually, all the things that we're complaining about mostly stems from that 2016 cipher. I remember I fucked with what's it called? Lil Uzi too. Well, Lil Uzi, I ain't gonna lie, Lil Uzi just recently started kind of not putting out great music. Lil Uzi been putting out good music for a little while. I'm not gonna lie. Lil Uzi, Underground Uzi was better than all of them niggas in my opinion. It was between him and Cardi for me. And I'm not comparing him to the rappers. I'm talking about that subgenre. They was both them niggas in that XXX too. All three of them niggas was them niggas at that time. But I think that Uzi was him. I like Super Saiyan. Niggas wasn't there for all that. Niggas was not there for all that, bro. Niggas wasn't there for all that. Shout out to We Are the Cypher. Hot take. Jaden Smith album Sire is an amazing body of work. I ain't gonna lie. That's not a hot take for real. At that time, I feel like he was on to something that he didn't really follow all the way through. But he kind of influenced some of the stuff that came after that. Not gonna lie. Him and his sister were putting out, and then it was like, bro, and then it was they just made a sudden shift. And that's what I'm saying, like, bro, there's no way that like some of that shit was on accident, bro. There's no way that was just random, bro. Like, I feel like there was a manufactured shift away from the spiritual renaissance that was going on, bro. Niggas is rapping about acid trips and fucking breaking through the barriers and the third eye and pineal glands and all types of crazy shit, and then it just vanished. I don't know. There's no way that's on accident. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That SoundCloud era was, man, bro. Even like Ugly God, even Ugly God had some crazy shit. Lil B, of course. Lil B was before that, and Lil B is still fire. I ain't gonna lie, Lil B has never dropped a bad project. But Lil B, of course. I remember when Lil B was beefing with Kevin Durant and James Harden. Niggas wasn't there. Niggas wasn't there for that. What else? He said jalopy buggers are not suicidal. I swear to God, I'm not. Who else, man? It was hella dope rappers coming out at that time, and there was so many different styles and so many different. I remember Rory. I'm not gonna lie, I did never like Rory though. I never was a fan of Rory. Vic Mensa had a whole era where he was going crazy, but then I think he got a little too experimental and kind of lost some of us. Vic Mensa got extremely experimental at one point. It was like, oh nah. Who else? Man, it was hella different artists, bro. Yeah, XXX was the next nigga. I ain't gonna lie, XXX was the one for sure. I know he did a lot of crazy shit too. You know what I mean? So, but his music was special. And he was versatile. So no. Right. Was Tupac is crazy. You know what? You're wrong, Beam, but I see what you mean. You definitely wrong, but I see what you mean. Because Beam definitely a nigga. Beam be hating on Tupac too, but it's all good. He said he has to be stopped from jinxing people. He said Lobby placed 1 million on the Patriots. Saw it on Instagram. He has to be stopped from jinxing people. If the Patriots lose, they should sue him. They should sue him is crazy. Nah. You know what I just realized too? By the way, for everybody that dropped the super chats in here, um, uh, I now understand, right? I heard this from one of the homies that does this stuff too, right? That actually people should send stuff to your Cash App, right? And I was on stream with the cipher last night, and people were sending the Cash Apps, and there was times where I would look at the super chats on YouTube, and I'm like, that doesn't add up. But I don't even be thinking about it, so I just say that, and then I'll just go about my day. But apparently, YouTube takes a portion of the super chats, right? I don't know if that's right or wrong or whatever, but apparently they take a portion of the super chats. So from now on, right, I'm gonna put my Cash App name right here, so that if you want to send direct donations, right, to me, 30%. Oh my God. Damn. Oh my God. 30% is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. 30%? 30% is insane, bro. Hey, look. YouTube, look, chill out. Chill out, okay? Look. I'm just observing something that is a fact. All right? Don't destroy my channel or you know what I mean? Don't shadow ban my channel now. All right? But that is insane. That is insane. But if y'all want to send cash straight to my Cash App for the super chats instead, that's fine with me too. Jalopy555. If you know, you know. But yeah, so Jalopy555, that's where you can send it. And yeah, appreciate y'all. Now, I think we pretty much done talking about the Super Bowl. Okay, we're about an hour in. Let's talk about he said honestly Kodak should have been in X position. That's the drugs got him. I think Kodak definitely could have been in a better position. I think there's no way we can say that Kodak was better than XXX. Definitely not, in my opinion. I think Kodak do got some real ass raps though. Kodak got some fire ass songs, but there's no way he's better than XXX. Hell nah. Right. Yeah. The direct payment is probably gonna be better, but if people want to keep sending the super chats, I'm fine with that too. I'm not tripping. And 30% is a lot, but I know that y'all not thinking that you're hey, YouTube, have this. I know that's not what y'all want to do. You know what I mean? So that's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all don't want to YouTube taking 30% of what you're really trying to give us. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to YouTube. We're just talking about reality. All right? For any of the potential YouTube mods that might be watching this shit. Hey, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I think that, man, don't get me started on the conspiracy theories. I'll put a tinfoil hat out right now. Now, let's do it for a little bit. So, the irony, right, that we are in the 250th year of America, right? We are in the 250th year of the 250th anniversary of America. We actually in the Pluto return of America. And the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I just be thinking about the shit like this all the time. Like, when y'all see me put together the Kendrick theories and all this, I don't be just thinking like this when it comes to hip hop. Like, I be thinking about this stuff in general. Because I'm like, I feel like the powers that be, that's how they operate. I feel like they operate in that level of, you know, distinction and understanding, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised the Patriots come back. But who knows? My whole thing in general is just like 250th year anniversary, and you in your Pluto return. It might be the Saturn return, one of them. And then you got the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Interesting. I don't know, man. But oh wait, we got somebody in here. Hold on. Janice, what up? How you doing?
Hi, I just clicked the link. I've never seen this app before. StreamYard.
What'd you come up here for? You want to speak about the bowl? You want to speak about the halftime show?
I'm listening to you because I'm a little bit late and I missed it.
Okay. So basically, I was gonna have people come up and talk about how you feel about the halftime show. Was you able to see it? First of all, where are you at?
I'm in Trenton, New Jersey. Tapped out in
Jersey.
Trenton.
Okay, shout out Jersey. I was supposed to be battling out in Jersey.
Go Birds, okay?
Oh, so you going for the Hawks?
No, the Eagles.
The Eagles. Ah, that's tough. I ain't gonna lie. That's tough.
South Jersey.
But yeah. So yeah, I was actually supposed to go battle out in Jersey, but somebody, my opponent backed out, so I didn't get to go battle out there in December. But so yeah, did you get to see the halftime performance? Okay. we're gonna have to end that right there. So let's move on to the next subject. Baby Keem theory. Bring my ass up. First of all, pause. Let's go ahead and pause that. First of all. But hey, Beam, if you want to come up here, go ahead and click this. I want to say this first and foremost to everybody watching. I want to make this clear. My opinions and perspectives do not reflect this nigga's opinions and perspectives. I just want to make that so clear. All right, Beam, click on that link, and you should be in the shit. All right, whatever this nigga say, that's his perspective. All right. Can't you vet guests before they make an appearance? I probably should do that before I fuck around and get in trouble up here. Somebody come up here and just say some crazy shit that I don't even know, and then they come up here saying, "Yeah, I probably should chill on that." We're being a little too inclusive. We being a little too inclusive. We definitely gonna have to vet niggas out before anything happens. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Beam got a lot of interesting perspectives that we argue about all the time. So yeah, you need house rules. You right. We do need house rules. Okay, we do need house rules. Okay, first and foremost, we definitely not coming up here using, slurs of any sort. Slurs of any sort. Okay? Do not overtalk. Yeah, that too. You know what? We're going to do this the right way. From now on, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have shit. I'm going to have shit set up. Before people come up, I'm going to have the house rules and all that. And that's how we're going to do it. All right. Yo, what's good, man?
What's poppin'?
Hey, look. If you gonna talk, hey, look, bro.
I ain't gonna troll you.
If you gonna talk about the halftime show, there's no. Look. I ain't saying you can't say what you gotta say, but
hey, look, I'm being completely 100.
You know what I
mean,
look,
bro. Talk about. I'm gonna be completely 100.
Be 100, but don't do all that extra shit. All right,
nigga. I didn't watch that shit, nigga. I went to sleep. I thought he was wearing a dress. I was gone.
Yo, see, hey, so y'all probably thought I'd be capping. I was not capping. I had already told them, as you was hitting me up earlier talking about, nigga, you better not watch that Super Bowl because that nigga wearing a dress. I'm like, nigga, so what? Like, even if he was wearing a dress, like,
hey, look, man.
I don't know.
I come from a generation where you don't put certain shit in kids' faces. And there's a lot of kids that look up to Bonito. So, you know, I just feel like it's the wrong message. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro.
That's not the wrong message. You don't think it's the wrong message to goddamn put a dress on?
You say you don't listen to Playboy. You say you don't listen to Playboy Cardi, right?
No, not no more.
So who do you listen to?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You know I'm an underground nigga, so I listen to Glock 40 Spaz.
Stop right there. So we don't even gotta talk about the context of the music for me to make my point. You don't want look, you already laughing. See, you already know. You don't want Bad Bunny to go on stage with a dress, right? Because kids is watching. But you listen to a nigga named Glock 40. This is what I be talking about. But bro, that's
you know what? You know what?
Like,
hold on. Talk about what you listen to versus what you put in children's faces is two different things, though. I ain't putting Glock 40 Spaz in my nephew's ear.
But he is.
I mean, I'm not. Huh?
No, but he is.
He is on God. He is though. On God, he is. Shit. So do you listen to my shit? My shit works.
Yeah.
So I mean, damn.
And that's my point. So on top of that, bro is the artist too, right? And he be talking crazy shit too, talking about all this crazy shit. So I'm like, nigga, but you don't think kids listen to Glock 40 or?
Bro, that shit is like, it's subjective as fuck only because how many artists really got gangster music? Kendrick got hella gangster music. He just can't perform it at the Super Bowl. Correct? 50 Cent, when he there too, with Snoop Dogg and them, they got hella gangster shit.
Yeah.
Hella. If it's what you confirm.
No, they did not.
I mean, it's subjective as fuck.
No, they was up there with some gangster music. They was up there with some gangster music.
Yeah, but
Kendrick was up there with some gangster music.
Real gangster music. We talking about real hit 'em up. We talking about when Snoop Dogg was really talking about getting back at them boys. We ain't
not like
talking
us,
about
not gangster.
Soft Cali's.
Not like us, not gangster.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the greatest song of all times. It's the most gangster diss song of all time. It's called a nigga a pedophile in front of billions.
Hey, chill with the words.
Oh, I can't use that.
You can't say that over here. We'll get clipped.
God damn.
Say PDF. Say
YouTube
PDF.
Is that crazy, bro?
Yeah, say PDF. See, I should have
gave on everything.
Look, I gotta give you. Yeah, we gotta do the media. We gotta do some media training, brother. But PDF, things of that nature, you can't be saying that. So my thing is this, right? If you don't want to see Bad Bunny on stage because of what the kids seeing it, then why are you okay when niggas going on stage talking about guns and all that? Like, where does it stop? Where does I don't want the kids to see this stop? Or are you just trying to justify your disdain for a certain community?
All right, so I'm gonna be real with you. That's like a really good question. No. Talk about. Watch this because I see where you're going. I personally think that Black folk express our music based on the cultural appropriation and what the fuck has gone on with us. So I got the 5 Glocks and I'm popping niggas like Pop Rocks. Like niggas was really having 5 Glocks and really outside popping niggas like Pop Rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas can like say these stories and sometimes like. Sometimes it's their truth, and you can't tell someone's truth on how to express their truth. Like if he rapping about what's going on.
So hold on. So no. Stop you right there. So why does that logic stop with a dress? So you can say
that shit stop.
You can't tell people how to express.
No.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. So you can understand, right? That people that we can express our realities, right? But you don't want Bad Bunny to get up and express his reality. Do you see what I mean by the hypocrisy? Like, you don't have to. You can just say, you can really just say, hey, I'm not going to lie, I'm just not a fan of a certain type of people. But you using these narratives and these ideas to justify your disdain for certain people. And it's like, you could just be real and just say, I ain't gonna lie, I don't have no real reason why I don't like these people. I just don't like
I ain't never said I didn't like Bad Bunny. I said I wasn't gonna watch it because he was goddamn, it was rumors that he was gonna put on a dress. I don't fuck with that shit. That shit weird. Simple and plain. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your belief is. You think a nigga wearing a dress is not weird on television, you weird. And if you're not weird, y'all are cross-dressing.
I don't think that's no, that's not true either. And that's what I'm saying. Your hypocrisy is showing, brother. In one instance, you can say in hip-hop, niggas who's rapping about doing this and doing that,
bro,
right?
you got a nigga in the comments talking about he wears dresses, bro. Time out, bro. I'm reading your comments, bro.
So what?
I'm just like, but that's not morally, and also it's deep rooted on what I believe in. Christianity, simple and plain.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, bro.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. And look, the reason why we doing this because we have these arguments anyway. We just doing it here.
Oh God. I don't give a fuck,
but what I'm
bro.
saying is, right. But what I'm saying is, you gotta be able to understand the hypocrisy that you just exposed. You just got done saying that niggas rapping they shit in hip hop, they real experience. You can't take that away from them. So why are you able to take it away from Bad Bunny for doing what he do? It just don't make sense.
Look, time out.
It's not like it don't add up.
I'm not gonna take away what he doing because he gonna do what the fuck he want to do. That's Bad Bunny. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do and what my opinion is on it. And I just morally think it ain't right. I don't care who you are. If you in a dress as a heterosexual man,
is it moral to shoot somebody?
Morally, yeah, hell yes, morally. If you goddamn trying to protect yourself, King. It just depends.
All right, man. Hey, I'm glad you came up.
I'm
glad you came up, bro.
If you out here trying to protect, your family, you out here trying to protect your house, you out here and you out in public and you gotta, you get a nigga moment and you might have to wild out one time.
That's not what 40. That's not what 40 Glock rapping about.
Levels to this shit. No, but it's maturity levels to being a man. But
you knew what I meant though. We all, come on, I know man. Niggas live in there. We live in Arizona. You know what's going on. What I'm saying is this.
Yes, bro. Morally speaking, bro, shooting and killing people is not right. Of course.
Okay, so why don't you have the same level, right, of disdain for that?
That said robes didn't have pants legs. Let's stop.
Look, man. Hey, Beam. I'm gonna catch you, bro. I appreciate you for coming up. All right. Much love for providing a different perspective, brother. I'm gonna see you in a second.
Stupid, right? Fuck you. Oh God.
Hey, if y'all want to go check out bro music, go check out the music. It's very interesting because this nigga be rapping about all types of crazy shit, but he gonna be the same person talking about, oh, that nigga better not go up there and put on that dress. Nigga, come on, man. Y'all niggas don't be serious. Niggas don't be serious, man. Niggas don't be serious, man. But I also wanted to show y'all, right, how constructs are still bullshit. That's another thing I wanted to show y'all because that's really, you know what I'm saying? That's the homie. You know what I mean? Like we had these arguments all the time, but we still cool. You know what I mean? So it's like it's to show you that we can respectfully make pointers, disagree, all that different stuff, and move on. You know what I mean? We never gonna be able to agree on that aspect of things, and that's all right. You know what I mean? But now let's move on. Let's move on to the Baby Keem theory, right? Bro, extra liberal. I love look. This is my favorite thing about the internet and about people in general. Some people think I'm liberal. Some people think I'm a leftist. Some people think I'm conservative. It's like based on something I say, everybody puts a tab on you. But it's like you don't know nothing. Just because I think people should be able to express themselves, right, in the way that they do. He said, not you. Well, you definitely wasn't talking about Beam. But because I think he definitely not liberal. He said the chat. Oh, okay. My fault, Blue. My fault. But hey, I feel like we got a lot of different people who believe a lot of different stuff in here. And I think it's dope. You know what I mean? I think it's dope. But he said, I just want to watch a stream without people telling me I can't be around kids. I'm a whole ass human. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something, Jess. That's our reality. You know what I mean? It's just, that's our reality. We all, because of these constructs and stuff, there's going to be disdain and from everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody. I was about to go in, Blue. My fault, bro. I was definitely about to go in. I was definitely about to go in. But yeah, it's, you know, this is our reality, especially in America. Like, you got to understand that. You know what I mean? And you know, just know that there's people who do believe in your essence. You know what I'm saying? People who do believe that, you know, everybody is human and everybody is, you know what I mean? So, but let's get to this Baby Keem theory, okay? Because I was supposed to put this out, but I got really tied in with the I got really tied in with the all eyes on me theory, because goddamn, I love that theory. Oh my goodness. But I got a different one for y'all. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. Now, this is the Baby Keem theory. All right. Number one, okay. The overall message of this theory is I believe that Baby Keem is coming very soon. Okay. We've been talking about this, but we haven't done a did you see Act say he was trying to get a Kendrick leak? He said he got word Kendrick is releasing too. No. I don't think he got word that Kendrick is releasing soon. I think I saw the clip and it said that he thought he's heard Kendrick is working on new music. But ironically, Drake music is being leaked now. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But all I know is this. I think Baby Keem is going to drop very soon, right? Now, this is the overall. First, what I'm going to put in the chat is this. Do you guys think that Baby Keem is dropping soon? Oh, most of y'all said Bad Bunny won't break Kendrick record. That's interesting. I think he is going to break the record. It'd be crazy. If he didn't break the record, that would be crazy. Now, do you think Baby Keem drops next? I think that was was that the poll that I was gonna put up? I think that was the poll I was gonna put up. I don't forgot already. Do you think Baby Keem drops next? Boom. All right. So this is what I want. I want y'all vote on that poll. But this is what I'm thinking. Okay. Now, initially, my initial theory was that Baby Keem drops. Baby Keem drops. What's it called? Baby Keem drops very soon, right? I was thinking, and this is what I initially thought would happen. I initially thought that J. Cole would drop, Drake would try to step on it, and then Baby Keem would come and drop, right? And obviously the all eyes on me theory kind of expands that a little bit different direction. But let's go over this. I don't know if y'all remember, right? But in 2021, right, Kanye dropped, what you're seeing here is like basically a script for my video. So typically I don't like write down the words that I'm going to say. Really, I just write down what I'm going to talk about. I look over, I'm like, okay, boom, and I talk about it. So that's kind of what you're seeing right now. And I plan on dropping this video in the next couple of days. I I just hope I didn't take too long because Baby Keem might end up dropping before I even, you know what I mean? But on one of my streams, y'all definitely seen this was being typed up. So what I'm thinking is, right, it's similar to 2021. Bullet points, right? It's similar to 2021, right? Where I don't know if y'all remember, but Kanye dropped Donda. Was it 2021? I think it was. Kanye dropped Donda, right? Drake dropped let me make sure. I think pretty sure it's CL, what's it called? Certified Lover Boy. Right? So let's make sure. Let's fact check real quick. Let's make sure we got this right. Donda 1. Okay, right. Okay, right. Okay. So then Drake drops right. Okay, so boom. Then London Blue drops. Right. Okay. So check this out. All right. The theory around this is 2021, Kanye drops, Drake steps on the release, and then Baby Keem steps on the release, right? So I don't know if y'all remember, but you know, you had Drake and Kanye going back and forth prior to Donda coming out, right? So boom. Kanye releases Donda 1 on August 29th, 2021. Okay? And it was supposed to be a big release, boom, all the different stuff, right? And it was building big momentum during this time. I remember all the extra clips and all this different stuff, and it was crazy, right? It was building up big momentum. But then Drake drops Certified Lover Boy, right? September 3rd, which is like a week, maybe 6 days after stepping on or after Donda, which was him stepping on the album. Now, what y'all got to understand is this is the things that Drake used to do. Drake would used to step on releases. He would used to hear artists or provide an artist a concept, and while they're working on a concept, drop it itself, or get ear that an artist is dropping a concept, do the concept and drop it himself, like Beyonce's album and all the different stuff, right? So I think that that's what's going on here. I think Drake is going for the same level, the same thing, right? I also think that's why Kendrick Lamar did the Meet the Grams thing. I think Kendrick Lamar did the Meet the Grams thing to give Drake a taste of his own medicine, right? By stepping on his, because think about it. Think how much, right? So think of Castle. Are you black? Okay. Just making sure. So and please chill on my mods. Please chill on my mods. And let's not use the let's try not to use the ER in here. I get you black and shit. I understand that, but let's try to be a little bit of class. Just a little bit. I had to make sure you was black too. But so Meet the Grams, remember, Family Matters was being built up as this huge song, as this huge situation. He went and shot the music video, got a fake car that mimicked Kendrick Lamar's. The music video is them in a junkyard and all this different stuff. He pulls up to the restaurant. He all this different stuff, right? And it was supposed to be this huge moment of Drake finally defeating, you know what I'm saying, Kendrick Lamar, Drake finally getting that done. And then Meet the Grams drop. No music video, No nothing. Just a random song. And it effectively steps on Family Matters, right? So Kendrick gave Drake a taste of his own medicine. Now, what I think is about to happen is J. Cole and Drake have problems. They have issues, right? And because of that, you see, right, Drake tried to step on the project. Now, I thought the whole album was going to come out, right? An album that we will not be covering or discussing on this channel, but when it drops. But I thought he was going to try to step on it with his own release, but instead he did it with snippets, which ironically shifted the conversation effectively, right? And when you look at it from that perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if Drake is looking to step on Cole's release in general by cutting it off within a week or whatever, right? That's how I was viewing it. That it might come out with that project. It did not. It was streamed. It was a stream. It was a snippet instead. So now we got to shift it a little bit. All right? Right. The music business is cutthroat. The way I see it is, there's a possibility, right, that a release of Drake's project is around the corner, especially coming to the fact that he's had to push it back multiple times, right? So my theory was that Baby Keem and Kendrick would step on the release of Drake while he was stepping on the release of Cole in the same way that this happened, right? Donda drops October to August 29th. Certified Lover Boy drops September 3rd. Now, when does Melodic Blue drop? Melodic Blue drops September 10th. Exactly 10 days after Certified Lover Boy. So they've already executed this. Right? He said, Erica said, are the majority of you really not? Look, I'm not mad at anybody that is going to listen to it, and I'm not mad at anybody that's going to cover it. I already said that in my original video. People twisted it however they wanted to twist it, and that's not my fault. It's their fault. And honestly, I think some people did it to steer hate for sure, and to twist the narrative and spin shit, right? But the truth always, so people realize, wait, no, actually, that's never what he said. So what I said was, I won't be listening to the album. I won't be covering the album. And why would I, when this dude did what he did in hip hop, right, with the suing and all that different shit? And why would I even give the attention and the ability for him to platform his album back and get back in position? I'm not going to do that. And that's just me. Okay? But what I think is this. I think the same thing is about to happen. I think that we might get Drake's release sooner than people think. And that's what I initially felt fully, right? Is that the full project will come out from Drake, and then a project will come out from Baby Keem. The same way that they did it in 2021. So that's the first part of the theory. They've already done this. They've already stepped on Drake after he stepped on somebody else. Right? So boom. Now look at it from this perspective. Okay? Not only did Melodic Blue drop, but this is the real question. When did Family Ties drop? Right? Family Ties dropped 2 days before Donda, right? Which gives it 10 days. What was that? Maybe 12 days, 2 weeks to be released after the Drake project. So this is a similar format that I think aligns with the all eyes on me theory, right? It might not be exactly 2 weeks, but me and if you was in a live stream with me and Brawler the other day, we was talking about maybe a full double disc album doesn't drop on the 13th. Maybe a song does. And maybe you get the project a week or two after that. Now, the problem with that for me is Doechii is supposed to be dropping in March, and that's not for sure. But based on her lyrics, it sounds like her album is coming out in March. She said that the album is 6 months old and needs a babysitter, or she was something like that. 6 months pregnant with the album, needs a baby, something like that, right? So that led a lot of us to believe that the album could drop in March. What I'm thinking is both of these projects are going to be dropping around similar times. Now, whether Drake is attempting to step on Keem, or Keem is attempting to step on Drake, kind of got muddied because of everything that just took place and the all eyes on me theory, right? But then you look at it from this perspective, right? This is the updated version of it. Check this out. Right? So Baby Keem, right? This is my theory. And there have been people, right, in quote unquote insiders, very important, that said, and this is why I don't really trust certain pages, because the same page that said, oh, this is about to come out is the same page that was saying those things about Pusha T and Jay-Z. So what I'm thinking is, right, it'll either be an announcement or an album, one or the other, right? It'll be an announcement or an album, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, and think about it. Think about everybody that Drake's been getting at since the battle. He's been trying to go after people who are surrounded by Kendrick Lamar. He's never saying Kendrick's name or even alluding to Kendrick's name. He's just going after the people around Kendrick, which is some very technical extra shit, right? When you look at it from that perspective, there's a possibility that both of these guys are waiting on each other. That's really what could be going on. Baby Keem and Drake could be waiting, because I'm like, is Baby Keem looking to step on Drake and Drake is in fear? So therefore, he's just going to wait as long as it takes for the Baby Keem project to come out. I also believe that Drake is going to have to drop and keep his name associated with the project that's coming out from Keem and them to build hype for his project. I don't think Drake is in a position where a standalone project is going to build the hype that he needs. That's just reality. I think when we talk about the bots that were exposed and all that, the demand for Drake is way lower than it seems right now. Okay? The internet is trying to keep that demand alive, right? Streaming is trying to keep that demand alive. But I don't think that's the reality, right? Yes, Drake is under crazy pressure right now. If Drake drops his project and it doesn't land, better yet, if Drake drops his project and somebody, so dropping out the 13th is out the window now. Now, hold on. Give me a second, right? We're about to move on to that. So if Drake is dropping and his project is the most pressure he's ever had, right? What is really going to come down to is if somebody steps on Drake, it's over for Drake. It's over for good. This is Drake's last attempt to drop a project that's going to garner genuine attention, because Drake's entire brand is being the bigger artist. Now, you remember, I've always said that I think, and I could be tripping, bro, I really could, that I think Kendrick is looking to at least have a versus with Drake. It doesn't have to be directly on the same day or whatever. But I do think around the same time, whether it's him, whether it's Baby Keem, whatever, the only thing keeping Drake afloat to his fan base is the appearance that he's still the biggest artist in the game. If you have a versus, right, with them, right, and you lose, right, that whole image is dead. That whole image is finished, right? And when I look at it from that perspective, it's like, why wouldn't they be ready to that's like the final blow to the dragon. That's like officially delivering the death blow to the dragon. Is a versus, whether it's the same week or the week after. That's my perspective, right? Now, this is where it gets interesting, okay? What I think is that Bodies is not a solo Kendrick track. And I've been saying that. I think Bodies, right? Conversate grandson's phone. What are y'all talking about? But anyway, so I think Bodies is a Baby Keem feature or a Baby Keem song. Because think about it. Even from a business perspective, right? From a business perspective, if I'm Kendrick Lamar, I just put out the biggest diss tracks, really the biggest diss track of all time. I own the diss track. That leads to GNX, where I promote it on a Super Bowl and a stadium tour. I own GNX. What's the next move? Building PG Lane. So who do you build? Baby Keem. Right? If Baby Keem is featured on Bodies, which is the most anticipated song in hip-hop, you give Baby Keem an automatic number one, whether it's on your project or his. You're building up Baby Keem's project to where nobody can step on it. Right? And if you want to step on a project, you make it to where a Baby Keem project will be bigger than a Drake project. You're killing, no matter which way we look at it, you're killing multiple birds in with one stone, right? So, dog shit Super Bowl. So, from that perspective, right, I believe that Baby Keem is featured on Bodies or Kendrick Lamar is featured on Bodies, right? Now, check this out. I'm not just going to say that and then not, put some pieces together now. All right. Now, hold on. Let me find the picture. Where is it at? Now. Okay, we're going to have to do YouTube and just not play it. Because I can't find a picture for some reason. That's weird. Or let's try this. See your next snippet. We'll try that. No? Okay. So we're just going to go to YouTube real quick. And just not play the song so we don't get clipped. But I want y'all to check this out. And we've had this theory multiple times, right? About what's really on the other side of these two cars. Right? Then where the hell is the video at? Okay, this is on random sites, so that's good. Okay, boom. So this is the thing right here, right? All right. Check this out. So when Kendrick gets out of the vehicle, right? There are two GNXs sitting right here. Okay? Now, in the past, I made a video and said, because I don't know if y'all remember, only the real OGs gonna remember this one. I had made a video saying we need a collab project from Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And then SZA took my video and posted it on her Instagram and said, we can give y'all that video. We can give y'all a double project, but it's up to the boss man. I don't know if she was talking about Kendrick or Punch, but she was talking about somebody. Joshua was a real one. Okay, you was there. Amari, you was there. Nikki, you was there. Okay, say less. But she took my video and posted it on her Instagram and said, well, I'm down, but it's up to the boss man, right? So initially I was thinking, wait a minute. These GNXs could be for Kendrick and SZA. SZA might get out of the other GNX. Now, what made me think that was, what made me think that was the fact that not only in Luther is she in a GNX, but she also gets in the GNX with Kendrick in the stadium tour. So I thought that was possible, right? But then I'm like, wait a minute. What if Baby Keem gets out of that other GNX? And we get a Family Ties Part 2. What if Bodies is a Family Ties Part 2? Right? Right, or a deluxe. Now listen. So there's two ways that this could go. Baby Keem is in the other GNX and he gets out of the other GNX. And Bodies is Family Ties Part 2. Because think about it. Y'all couldn't hear Baby Keem going crazy on that project? On that beat? Baby Keem would go crazy on that beat. Yes or no? It's perfect for both of them. Even the energy of Family Ties, right? It's a similar energy. It's not the same, but that high tempo, like it's a Family Ties type of feel if you really think about it. Why would you perform the song? He performed the song unreleased, right? He performed the song unreleased at the Superbowl. That's crazy, right? So from that perspective, you kill multiple birds with one stone if Baby Keem is on this song or if it's Baby Keem's song, right? You build Baby Keem up to be the next big thing for the next generation. You give him an automatic number one. TDE has their Gen Z representative. PG Lang has their Gen Z representative, right? Now, if the song is for Baby Keem, yeah, you give him the number one. You will give him an automatic number one because that's what the song will be. And regardless if it's dropped a month before or a month later, Baby Keem's album will have a lot more steam, right? So from that perspective, I can definitely see Baby Keem being on this song and Baby Keem being the other person that gets out of the GNX. Now, if this is a Kendrick song, that's where we get back into the all eyes on me theory. Bodies could be Kendrick Lamar featuring Baby Keem on the GNX Deluxe, right? Which the new stimulus package, exactly. Which would be, right? The boost for when Baby Keem is gonna drop his project. Now, Baby Keem, right? One second. Baby Keem has a festival coming up, I'm pretty sure. right? And it says it's in June, right? That's right? G Malone said Bodies isn't dropping. Really? When do you say that? When did G Malone say that? When did G Malone say that? I feel like that would have been bigger news if he said that. I haven't heard nobody speak on that. Did he really say that? Does anybody know? Let me know. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I would have heard about that. I feel like some of us would have heard about that. Somebody, right? There's just no way you perform it at the Super Bowl and then perform it on half of the tour and you're not dropping it. I don't know about that. But yeah, did he say that on some like, damn, that shit never dropping? I don't know. But my perspective is, if Baby Keem is on this song, it kills multiple birds with one stone, right? So I believe, right, from that perspective, that plays into the all eyes on me theory too. Because if Kendrick is going to drop on the 13th, it could be a deluxe, it could be a double album, or it could just be a single. And I feel like that changes the conversation from J. Cole, right? Which I think is still a form of stepping. And then on top of that, it probably made more sense to be a single or something, but I'm sticking with the all eyes on me theory until it's false, right? But from that perspective, all of that still adds up. Especially when you're talking about Baby Keem potentially coming out with something, okay? So the only thing that's in the balance now is Baby Keem looking to step on Drake, or is Drake looking to step on Baby Keem? I think it's more likely that Baby Keem is looking to step on Drake, right? And the same way that Melodic Blue stepped on Drake, okay? Bodies being a Kendrick versus Baby Keem song makes all of that possible. He said Kendrick is done with Drake. I don't think so. If Drake come out and say Kendrick name or anything of that nature, I don't think so. I think it gets back popping. Now, I do think that Kendrick is moving away from it if niggas are letting it go, right? But there have already been some ideas. He not dropping Bodies. Can somebody tell me why he's not dropping Bodies? Because the people said the same thing about Squabble Up. And I knew Squabble Up was going to drop. Everybody was saying Squabble Up is just the next thing, the next all-right music video. Right? But from that perspective, I believe that Bodies is going to be featuring Baby Keem, or it's going to be a Baby Keem song. All right? And Kendrick, I believe, drops something on the 13th. For sure. I stand on that. Now, if it doesn't come true, then okay. But I do think that what we're talking about is going to happen. That's what I think. I think what we're talking about is going to happen. It might not happen on the 13th. The 13th just makes the most sense for everything that Kendrick's been talking about. Right? But calling it now, Baby Keem and Kendrick drop Friday. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I feel like Bodies is the song. Why would you? Because think about it. Think about it like this. GNX, dropping GNX randomly And it doing what it did tells the entire industry, if this is my enemy, he might step on my project. That's what it tells the enemy, right? If Bodies is not on there, right, you're always going to think, as his enemy, he might step on my album with this song. There is no other song more anticipated than this song in hip hop. It don't matter who drop. It could be a pop artist. It could be Bad Bunny. This song is going to take the #1 spot regardless of competitors. Right? That feels like an act of war to me. That's my whole thing. That feels like an act of war. It feels like I hope you know what I can do. So just don't play. That's what it seemed like to me. And hey, now we talking about popping out. You better not say my name. All this different stuff. If he's aware that they're at war in the industry, and I say war from the perspective of music, if they're at war within the industry, then what are we saying? What are we really saying? I feel like it makes the most sense. And then when you talk about what J. Cole just did with the Tupac, like the Tupac mimicking and all that different stuff, and then Drake did the same thing, and boom, boom. I think if anybody's going to really bring that energy while keeping it authentic, it's going to be Kendrick. And to do it on the 13th makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking. I think that it's either going to be a Baby Keem song or the song is going to be on the deluxe of GNX. I'm still open to the double album. But a deluxe would make GNX a double album. That's the crazy part. A deluxe will make GNX a double album. Okay? On top of that, SZA did the deluxe method already. Right? So from that perspective, right? Why wouldn't that come out as a Baby Keem track? It could be J-Rock too. I ain't gonna lie. It could be a few niggas. It could be Black Hippie. Who knows? But I'm leaning towards the perspective of a project of J. Cole. I just read your chat. A project of Kendrick Lamar, right? On the 13th. Bodies on the 13th. Or a Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar song, which I think is Bodies. Keem and Dot won't step on Cole. I think Dot likes Cole. I don't think so. He said, I think Bodies is featuring Ab, J-Rock, and Q since he mentions them on the song. I ain't gonna lie. I could definitely see it. He said the GNX era is over. Boston time now. I mean, yeah, but I think that adds to what I'm saying. If the GNX era is over, or maybe the deluxe ends the GNX era, or whatever. But I just feel like a double album is definitely possible. A double album is definitely possible. I'm still thinking a double album is possible. He said Jalopy, Big Trip, and Dot and Cole are cool. If they are, then I don't know, bro. I feel like everything is pointing to the fact that they're not. When I listen to Kendrick's music, I don't think he fuck with Cole. I don't think he fucks with Cole. I think Squabble Up is proof. Whacked Out Murals is proof. Man at the Garden is proof. It's just, I don't think they're cool, bro. I just don't see it. Fuck apologies. I want to see y'all geeked up. don't acknowledge me, then maybe we can say it's fair. You take it to the internet, and I'm going to take it there. I don't know, man. Who is he talking about then? Who is he talking about? I ain't gonna lie. He basically told you straight up he don't rock with that. And why would he be? I ain't gonna lie. If Kendrick is still cool with Cole, that'd be ridiculous. Dot doesn't care about Cole. Yeah, I really don't think it's just rap. What do you think I'm talking about? You think I'm talking about them fighting or something? No, I'm talking about raps. I think Kendrick is looking on it like, no, like we say less. And I think J. Cole did some sus shit. If Kendrick is still cool with Cole, I mean, it's possible because there's stuff go behind the scenes that we don't understand. But I would automatically, fuck anybody empathetic to the other side, I vow. A bitch nigga love bitch niggas, they exist with them in style. That was for Cole. Exterminate them right now. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It just don't add up. It don't add up. I keep saying, Kendrick has been shooting at Cole, telling him, you better get ready. And then it's like, It's a Boy still ain't dropped yet. So J. Cole not done. Like, we got to be honest here. Fuck apologies. I want to see y'all. Like, come on, man. It was whoop tickets on sale till I silenced it. Pipe down, young. These some whole other politics. Bitch in them and some bitch with them. Bitch with them and some bitch in them. That's a lot of bitch. That's for Cole, bro. That's for Cole. That's for Cole. What bridge they done burn, all of them is over with. I'm doing what COVID did. They'll never get over it. And I ain't gonna lie. If Kendrick want to take this anti-hero villain era that he's in to another level, you definitely go get Cole the fuck out of here. That'll make even more niggas mad. J. Cole out here rapping on all bad boy beats and shit. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, bruh. All you got to, and this is why my perspective starts from the music. That's what y'all got to understand. My perspective starts with the music. It starts with Kendrick is saying. And then I create my theory. Right? I'm not creating my theory out of the blue. I'm creating my theory based on what he's saying. Yo, shout out to Fire and Will. If I was gonna make you some new beats, what you looking for? Really anything, man. I'm not gonna spoil because I do got a lot more for y'all coming, but really anything, just send me whatever. Send me whatever. I could really send me whatever, bro. But yeah, Kendrick is telling niggas, bro. He said, I still believe What About J. Cole was his way of saying, I wish Kendrick and Drake would have a conversation and end it. But he just used Pac and Biggie. I'm dropping a video tomorrow for y'all. Tomorrow I'm gonna be watching at 9 a.m. I'm gonna be watching the latest video on J. Cole. I'm definitely gonna watch his deleted. I'm gonna watch the deleted video on the fall off, and then we're gonna break down some theories some more, and then I'm gonna drop my video on What If. So be there. You know what I mean? I plan on streaming from 9 to about 12:30, and then dropping the video to What If the next day. I mean right after, like literally the second I get off stream, we're gonna talk about What If. So y'all be there, all right? Hip hop on top, man. Let me get to you're saying the same thing that I have in my notes. And I'm gonna get to you. So I'm gonna read these chats and I'm gonna get to you. Hold on. Shout out to Jimmy Clam again. I'm in New Jersey too. Hey, shout out New Jersey. I'll probably be battling out there at some point. So yeah, for sure. Appreciate you for the super chat. Shout out Cam Sullen. He said, Doechii about to put out a generational album. It's about to get surgical. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I'm leaning towards Doechii drops a classic. Now, I know that's a lot of pressure to put on Doechii, but I think Doechii's built different. I think she's seeing all the talk. She's seeing all the chatter. She gonna come outside and destroy shit for sure. I think if, Doechii a Leo too, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? Bro, I can sense these things. I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, I think Doechii got it for sure. I think she got it for sure. Pot was shot after leaving a boxing event. That might be a reach, but I love a good reach. I appreciate you for the super chat, big dog. Much love, for real. Shout out Drake Gott for the super chat. Thank you. Cole should have had a what if bar about if Dot didn't beep out whacked out murals. I ain't gonna lie. J. Cole should have just shot at Kendrick. I ain't gonna lie. If you wanted all this shit to go away and go away the right way, you should have just shot at Kendrick and tried to win. Because even if you lost, everybody would have respected that you came outside. Facts. But he too afraid of losing and being seen as the nigga who wasn't the best. So, yeah. Shout out Mammoth for the super chat. The fall off is dope. Getting better with every listen. I completely disagree, brother. But I appreciate you for the super chat. I think the fall off is not getting better. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Hip Hop on Top for the super chat. Thank you. Dot definitely heard what if, and I'm sure this is the last straw. Listen, this is one of the things that I was gonna mention in my video, right? Is that this is why the all eyes on me theory gets added on, right? I'm not saying that Kendrick probably heard it beforehand, which I wouldn't doubt. But think about it. Think about GNX and think about the second disc of the fall off, right? Kendrick does Reincarnated. J. Cole does Old Dog. Kendrick does Kendrick has Man at the Garden, which is one mic. J. Cole got the Nas interpolation. We got Kendrick really did a few things that were brands or remakes of classics, just like J. Cole did, right? So from that perspective, I wouldn't doubt that he recognized the theme, especially if you recognize that J. Cole has been mocking Kendrick for a long time. So, of course, he would mock Kendrick again, right? Kendrick being aware of this possibly walked J. Cole into this, right? And I wouldn't doubt that that's why we would be getting a double album or deluxe with that pot energy in his own way, right? So I feel like J. Cole's What If song is highly disrespectful. I get what he was trying to do, but it points to his lack of understanding. And if he doesn't have a lack of understanding, it's even worse. But J. Cole went too far. He went way too far. He went way too far with What If, in my mind. And I don't think people are taking it seriously enough, and that's okay. But he went way too far to try to explain himself. That's way too far. You can't, like, no. You know what I mean? So that's my perspective. All right. And yeah, I'm with you on that one. Once again, what if Doechii is the one to step on Drake? Now, I'm not gonna lie. I have thought about this, but I didn't put too much energy into it. But that would be the biggest, not only plot twist, but as far as an act of war, you kill every stone possible with that one. Because if Kendrick is saying, I don't even got to be involved to step on you, right? And you get Doechii and Baby Keem, which are seen as the underlings, and they step on these projects, right? That would be crazy. But I'm leaning towards the no on that one. I think that Doechii is going. I think that the field will be cleared before Doechii drops her project, which is why I think something happens in February. And then don't get into crazy upset, which would do even more damage to Drake. And really anybody, and J. Cole. Because the fall off isn't performing in the way that people thought it would. Right? So, and one of J. Cole's main things when he dissed Kendrick was talking about him falling off. So I'm with that one, but not fully. I'm not invested in that one, but I like it. I do like it though. Shout out to Mammoth again. Had to drop another 5 for the cap about J. Cole being afraid. That's not what he said, bro. False info if I'm calling a spade a spade. I don't care what J. Cole said, though. That's not why I said it. I'm expecting someone that's afraid to say they're afraid. Why would they do that? Why would someone who's afraid say they're afraid? Y'all aren't trying to have an honest convo about Cole, and that's sad. Nothing in his lyrics suggests fear. Why would they? Like, why do you think that J. Cole, someone who is trying to be the best, would openly say that he fears Kendrick? That's not what we're grading it on. We're grading on his actions. We're grading on his actions, what he's doing, not what he said. And I just realized the profile pic is my delete later, which is okay. But it explains why you're ignoring what J. Cole is doing. Dropping a diss track and deleting it, and then like, come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let's be honest. Let's be honest, Mammoth. Okay? I still got love for you, though, and thank you for the super chat. But I'm the one calling a spade a spade. You are not. Okay? Don't confuse what you think I'm doing with you're actually doing. Okay? Shout out to Uji. Uji. Can you tell me how to pronounce that, please? I don't want to keep saying it wrong if I am. Cole fans want to evaluate the Vol off in a vacuum because that's the only way that it's a fire album. If you grade it in a vacuum, that's the only way it's a fire album. The nigga dissed some random dude, but ran away from the battle. The nigga is dissing Drake in the mixtape, but he just did a whole bunch of lawsuits and kind of crazy shit. Like he's picking like he's always done. Diggy Simmons, Lil Pump, all these guys who can't fight back. Like, nah. And even that verse that he had for Dude wasn't crazy. It like once it showed me again, like, oh no, you would get packed the fuck up. Even this is light. Like even the diss that you had for Homeboy is light. You know what I mean? So yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You're not lying. Girly Jock. Cole is such a coward. He ducked dot only to diss and nobody. Right. Exactly. It's like, come on, man. Come on. And it does take away from his legacy. It does. The same way that if Tay-Rock backed out of a battle last second, that was huge, we would be looking at that nigga funny because you are a battle rapper. That's what you told us. when you drop diss tracks with other people who can't rap. When you say that you will put your favorite rapper's head to the noose. When you're doing videos with niggas' favorite rappers' heads on the wall. Yeah. That fucked up his legacy. Now, it didn't take away from the music, but it took away from him being the greatest. You could never be the greatest now. It's over. Your call for the greatest in this generation is finished. You can't get it back unless you go beat Kendrick right now. Kendrick's the best. He made you apologize and he smoked Drake. Y'all are finished. So that's just reality. You feel what I'm saying? Right. If Kendrick had apologized, do you know what the fuck media would be doing right now? It would never be over. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. And right, yeah, didn't J. Cole did get on stage and use the word fear. Yeah. For sure. Hey, Mammoth, let me ask you a question. Since you saying it's got to be about the lyrics, right? Did Drake ever say, I have ghostwriters? I'm just asking. Did Drake ever say that he has ghostwriters in his songs? If the answer is no, your point is invalid. Because it doesn't take lyrics for us to know. You feel me? So, respectfully. But yeah, from that perspective, long story short, I do think that in general, I do think something's going to happen on Friday, man. I just do. And I'm standing on it. And I'm going to make an actual condensed video of the All Eyes on Me theory, too, so everybody else can see it that don't come to the lives. But I genuinely think that something's going to happen on Friday. And I think it's going to be crazy. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the theory is good. And that's what's important, okay? The theory being wrong does not mean it's a bad theory. And I want to make that clear. Even in science. Right? The theory being wrong doesn't mean it's a bad theory. Right? A theory being right just makes it an incredible theory. That's it. Okay? But yeah, if y'all in here, drop a like on this video real quick. I think we're done, low-key, man. I think we're done. And yeah, they're definitely dropping. We're just trying to figure out when. You know what I mean? So from that perspective, I think we're good, y'all. I think we can call it a night. I really gotta blow my nose and shit, man. But yeah, I think we can call it a night. Another good stream. I'm gonna get up. I'm definitely gonna call it a night so I can get up early and stream tomorrow. I will be reacting to Deleted's video on J. Cole's The Fall Off, and then I will be dropping a video right after that live about the What If song. So y'all stay tuned. Okay. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night. All right. I'm going to catch y'all.